Hello everyone, good afternoon. Another day in Spain, in Castellón, and here we are at Tell Me Over Coffee. Well, today is going to be a very special day because I'm going to be interviewing a professional in the industry who is from my hometown, Tangiers. Hi, Sebastiano, and as usual, I say hello to everyone who is going to be online today following this interview, and I hope we'll have enough time to for you guys to be able to ask questions to our guest. So here we are, we're just waiting for our guest to get online, which I hope will be very, very soon. And I promise that today is going to be very, very interesting. Hi, Santi. Today is going to be very interesting because this special person that I'm going to be interviewing this afternoon is part of the industry, but not on the other side of the camera, which most of us are used to having on the other side, which is actors, and then behind the camera, which is all the camera, sound, directors, actors, directors, etc. This person is one of the people. Hi, Andre. Hi, Paul. One of the people. Well, his company, obviously, because it's not only him. He owns this company with other executive producers. They are in charge. Hi, Tomas. Tomas. I interviewed him about a week ago, and he does really, really good work. You guys, if you ever have a chance to check out their webpage, which is Artefacto Escenografía, you'll like it a lot. Just a sec, I'm going to check out. Just one moment, please. Hi, Marina. I think that our guest is having a little bit of technical problems getting online, so we're going to have to wait a little bit more. Well, as I was saying, you guys should take a chance to check out Artefacto Escenografía's webpage, and you'll see, it's really, really awesome what they do there. And here we have our guest is online. Let's see if he requests invitation to be here with me. You guys, it's not really easy if you've never done this, if you're not a professional. I don't consider myself a professional. Hi, Felice. I don't consider myself a professional in anything. It's like I say, I know a lot of nothing and a bit of everything. So, oh, by the way, I will be interviewing Felice next week. So I'm not going to say more, but he's my my next guest for next Tuesday. So my guest is still having problems. Oh my God. Okay, anyone can tell me how I can help my guest get online? Okay, now he's online through his company, Bo, and Bo Film Services. And I hope that he is able to, I don't know if I can just, no. Well, see, this is what happens when you're direct and you don't know how to. Okay, hold on, okay, how about if I get him? Okay.
Hello,
There!
Yassmine.
Finally! I had to go there and, a tu rescate, cual caballero en su caballo, rescatando a la princesa.
Here I am. How
Here
are you?
are. Fine, I'm fine. Hey, Ali, Can you
Yes.
just put your phone or your computer a bit further so we can see you better?
Yeah, because
That's
I was trying to get connected with my computer, but the connection is not good, so I had to use my
yeah.
phone. So that's why I couldn't
Great.
get connected
Okay.
earlier.
Okay. Let's try a little bit further back. If you can go a little bit further there. That way we can see you.
There you go. Is that good?
Okay. That's great. What a huge surprise. I'm so happy that at the end you were able to make it. Really, really appreciate it. And
Thank you so much.
since we don't have a lot of time and I have so many things to ask, let me get through and go through all this, the presentation, because as you, just like all my other guests, I love to give a great presentation so people know you a little bit more. So let's start today. So good afternoon to all and welcome again to Tell Me Over Coffee. This afternoon's guest is one of the owners and executive producers of Beau Film Services, a well-known international production company based in Morocco, Tangiers, and Tétouan, giving full service around the country, and also owned by executive producers Doug Ray Scott, Julia Stiles, Paul Greengrass, Mel Gibson, and Colin Farrell. Our guest studied business administration and management at Northwood University in Dallas and U.S. International University in San Diego. He's also fluent in Arabic, French, and Spanish. Previously, he worked as a multinational company site manager. Our guest has over 25 years of management experience in the film industry. That's a lot. Now, in order for you guys to know a little bit more of him, I can tell you he will explain each role in the company, what it is, but I can tell you that he has worked on the following major feature films as a production manager, such as Miss Fisher and the Crypt of Tears, directed by Tony Tiles, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, directed by Christopher McQuarrie, El Deseo de Ser Piel Roja, directed by Alfonso Ungría. As a producer, he worked in Lost in the Middle, directed by Sven de Hans Schuster, German. I don't speak very well German.
Senna.
Casbah by Mariano Barroso. He also worked as a transportation coordinator, which he will be explaining what it is, in Bond 007 Spectre, directed by Sam Mendes, American Sniper, directed by Clint Eastwood, Salmon Fishing in the Yemen, directed by Lasse Hallström, Hannah, directed by Joe Wright, Contagion, directed by Steven Soderbergh, Green Zone, directed by Paul Greengrass, Sex and the City 2, directed by Michael Patrick King, Inception, directed by Christopher Nolan, Body of Lies, directed by Ridley Scott, The Bourne Ultimatum, directed by Paul Greengrass, Syriana, directed by Stephen Gahan, and in these following TV series as transportation coordinator, America's Next Top Model, directed by Tyra Banks, Expedition Impossible, a reality show, Ben-Hur, a miniseries directed by Steve Schill, and we're coming to the end. He also worked in feature films as a location manager, which he will explain what is. In Kingdom of Heaven, directed by Ridley Scott, Gladiator, directed by Ridley Scott. That's his job. Now, he has been awarded as a producer for 2 short films. One, Wafat, which was awarded as Best African Short Film at the Link International Film Festival in the UK. And let's see if I can pronounce this well. Tikshibla Tiuliula,
Tikshbila Tulula.
awarded for the second, got 2 awards. One was second best short film of the International Short Film Festival of Torrelavega and awarded as best African short film at the Ouarzazate International Film Festival. He's this producer, which I will soon say his name, has a nomination, has participated in a nominated film that is pre-selected for the Goya 2020 Awards, which is El Nadador, directed by Pablo Barce. I would like to say a recommendation before I say his name. Lawrence Ribeiro, producer at Degenerate Films, in 2016 said the following: Ali was far and beyond helpful, a total professional. Morocco is a unique place and you need a unique person to handle such. We both know that.
Thank you.
He was always one step ahead of me, which is what you want. Visas, piece of equipment, crew, what a call away was a call away and remedied in 5 minutes later. If you are going to Morocco, Ali is your guy. And yes, he sounds like he's from Texas. Thanks, Ali. Well, my dear friend, Ali BAKKIOUI El Othmani, marhaba.
Yes, marhaba. Thank you.
It's great having you finally here. I know you've been with, all these jobs and all the present work. And I know you are one of the few production companies that handles all this in Morocco. And
Yes.
many, not only filmmakers, but also producers count on you almost with closed eyes.
Yes.
As I said, I think that your job is one of the less known within The Spectator and
Yep.
some actors also. Could you please explain each of the following: producer, line producer, production manager, location manager, and transport coordinator?
Are you there?
I'm here.
I think we just got cut off. Yeah, I heard.
Sorry. Okay. So I was
No, it's
asking.
okay. I heard your question.
Okay.
I'll explain to you the role of every one of these people that you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with, because usually when we have international productions coming into Morocco, the big boss is always the producer, because he's the guy who brings the budget. He's the money person. He's the guy who runs the budget for the film. So
Okay.
in order to run that budget, he runs the budget with the help of the Moroccan line producer.
Okay.
They manage the budget together. That means they manage every department and the expenses and how the budget is run. So it's actually budget management. That's the role of the producer from Europe or from the foreign country. And the line producer is the local producer, which is called the line producer, who runs the budget with the producer, hand in hand.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the production manager, usually we always have counterparts. That means we have a production manager that comes from overseas, and we also have a local production manager. So the role of the production manager locally, he's the guy in charge of the crew. He runs the whole show. He's the floor person. He makes sure that we have all the crew engaged. Everybody's on contract. He's the contact with the CCM, which is the Film Office of Morocco. The Film Office of Morocco, which is the Centre Cinématographique Marocain, that gives us all the permits for filming in the country.
Okay.
So a production manager works to the instructions of the line producer normally. Okay. So he makes sure that all the contracts for the locations are done, all the contracts for the crew are done. He makes sure that all the departments and the department heads report to him all the film activity or all the work in the film in each department.
Yeah.
The location manager is the person who is another person that runs out to all the locations to make sure, to guarantee to negotiate the locations, which
Okay.
means to negotiate with the owners, or if it's a government building, to negotiate with the government, to do all the
Mm-hmm.
requests that he does, of course, approved and signed by the production manager. So the location manager is always out there to make sure to guarantee that we have access to locations. He
Okay.
also he also makes sure that we have proper labor, security, all the all the working hands, all the people on the floor that are working are run by the location manager. So that's the role of a location manager. A
Mm-hmm.
transport coordinator in Morocco, we never had before. We didn't have that role of a transport coordinator in Morocco. Usually it used to be like a transport assistant, and usually
Mm-hmm.
all the big jobs would bring their own transport coordinator. For example, when they come from the States, they call them the transport captain, okay? But when they come from the UK, they call them the transport coordinator. So when I started working as a transport coordinator, they didn't need to bring another transport coordinator from Europe or the States or anywhere. So I did the whole department by myself, and I would have my assistants with me. So I did all the paperwork, all the purchase orders, all the rental orders, everything was run by me in my department, and I would make the budget for the whole film,
Okay.
transport wise. The whole film, I'm in terms of transport as a transport coordinator. So, so, so that's the role of a transport coordinator. But like I said, on big jobs, they bring their own coordinator, and we always give them the Moroccan counterpart. We can call him the transport captain, or call him the transport assistant, or whatever. But normally, he's the Moroccan transport captain.
Okay. Let me interrupt you a sec. Uh, so we all have it clear because I myself don't have it clear. A transport coordinator is the person, obviously you arrange everything and you negotiate prices for transport, but we're talking about transport of crew, equipment, everything. Okay.
Everything. We're talking transport. That means everything that goes on wheels,
Okay.
even heavy equipment. For example, each department would be looking for a crane, for example,
Mm-hmm.
that would come to the transport department. They
Okay.
need a forklift that would come to transport department. So we make sure that everybody is transported, from producers,
Mm-hmm.
directors, cast, crew,
Okay.
even the extras. We make sure that they have proper transport to bring them back and forth to work.
Okay. Perfect. Um, I've heard that Morocco was and has been for some years a paradise for films related to terrorism stories. And it seems that directors, screenwriters, producers, etc., are no longer interested in filming these stories anymore, making international productions in Morocco almost inexistent. But I do know for sure that there have been many other stories shot in Morocco which have nothing to do with tourism. You being in the front line, could you please clarify what's the actual reality there and what genres are being shot in Morocco?
Well, we film all kinds of genres because at one time, because it's what's trendy, what's going on in the film business, in the film
Mm-hmm.
market, of course. So we had the Gulf War. After the Gulf War, film stories started coming out about Saddam,
Yeah.
Iraqis, and what was happening in Iraq. Now the problem is you cannot find those locations anywhere else in the world besides coming to Morocco, because Morocco has got so much to offer. There's a big diversity of all types of locations that you can dream of. You can film a million films in Morocco and never run out of locations.
Yeah.
So what they did back then is they were doing Iraq in Morocco. That means we did Fallujah, we did parts of Baghdad in Saleh, Rabat,
Mm-hmm.
uh, parts of it we did in Casablanca, but mainly in that part of the country. And every time we talk about the desert parts of the film, we go down to Ouarzazate or Erfoud,
Mm-hmm.
where we have real desert and beautiful desert.
Mm-hmm.
But that we also have other genres, depending on the script and what the directors are really looking for. Uh, for example, we did the Born Ultimatum because the Born Ultimatum, they mentioned Tangier, and it was the real Tangier in the film, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So they mentioned it in the Born before that.
Okay.
I think it was the Born Supremacy. Yeah, or the Born Supremacy. They mentioned that there was something going on in Tangier and that Born had to come to Tangier. So we filmed the real Tangier, for
Mm-hmm.
example. So it all depends on the script and what the script is talking, what the context of the script is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Actually, at present time, okay, let's forget about COVID. We're talking about previous to COVID. I am sure that there has been and there are on hold projects, international projects being shot in Morocco.
yeah, right now with the COVID, there's not much happening. And
Obviously.
there won't be that much going on for a little while because I know a lot of people are willing to restart, that they
Mm-hmm.
need to get back in business, but it's not going to
Yeah.
be easy
No.
because, as you know, the frontiers are not opened yet. So that's going to hold the business for a little bit. It's going to be a crisis in the film industry in Morocco for a little while, for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's really sad to hear that because
It is. It is.
It is because
Yeah.
a lot of people depend in Morocco. I mean, well, you know me, you know my family. Um, I'm originally from Morocco. I've lived there for many years, and I know how it works, and I know how this pandemia can affect a country like Morocco. And
Yes.
unfortunately, I mean, if we count that the pandemic has affected worldwide the cinema industry, imagine countries like Morocco or other countries that are in a lower level but do live off the cinema industry.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
disaster. It's a complete disaster.
Well, what happened is what's been really touched is the tourism in the film industry more than anything because we depend on a lot of foreigners to come and do the filming. Of course, tourism depends on tourists in the country. I happen to be in Marrakesh right now, and if you see Marrakesh, you'll cry for Marrakesh because the main income of the people here is mainly tourism.
Tourism. Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing going on. If you walk out, it looks like a ghost town, even though they are deconfining slowly and gradually, but it's not really picking up. It's very slow, and people are still scared to be
I
out.
can't imagine the La Place Jamal Finna
It's it's
empty.
it's
I
it's
just can't
empty.
imagine it empty because it's usually always full 24-hour.
Yeah, and
And
now
it's
with
weird.
46 degrees, it's impossible to be out anyway,
Yeah,
whether it's tourism or not. But even though before the COVID, everybody was out, even in the heat. So,
yeah, that's true.
but really, we are suffering from this thing. The COVID really destroyed the industry, and it's going to
Well,
be
I
like
mean,
that. We're going to be suffering for a long time.
yeah, but there are countries that culture-wise, I mean, in culture, they are the government is helping out, right, to allow these people to survive until the wheel starts to turn again.
Yeah, but the help is not that much anyway because the government hasn't. I mean, they're trying to boost the business a little bit. They're trying to help in the companies and all that to get back on their feet, but it's going to be
Yeah,
very difficult, especially the medium-sized companies. The small company, a lot of them went bankrupt because they
yeah,
couldn't
I can
sustain themselves and sustain their employees and all that. A lot of people got fired from work. A lot of people got laid off from work, but or families who never had work. I mean, they were getting like $100 a month, and there are like 8 members in the family. And what's that going to do for them? Is that going to be one baguette a day of bread or something? It's going to be really, it's really difficult. But the only way is, for example, you go to where's it at? 80% of the people or labor out there, they depend on the film industry because they work as extras, as
yeah,
helping hand, as laborers, as they're
right,
doing nothing right now. It's really dead. They're
yeah,
crying out there. On top of that, there's no tourism, so it really killed that town, which is the Hollywood of Morocco. So
yeah.
it's a real shame.
It's real
But
shame. Yeah.
but yeah, but we're hoping, we're crossing our fingers that it's going to pick up again. And
Mm-hmm.
already I've been talking to a few producers. I've spoken to an American producer in Paris. I've spoken to a producer in South Africa. I've spoken to a couple of producers in the States. They're hoping that the frontiers are going to open so they could at least come and start their scouting for
Yeah.
future projects. But still, it's very slow. It's going to take the Americans longer to get out of the COVID situation than the
Yeah.
Europeans, because the Europeans have already opened
Yeah.
themselves. They've opened their frontiers, but the States is going to be a little difficult. So let's
Okay.
pray.
Yeah, praying, fingers crossed. Okay, as I said previously, you've
Yes.
worked in quite some important projects with
Yes.
very important film directors, such as Clint Eastwood, Ridley Scott, Paul Greengrass, Sam Mendes, Christopher Nolan, amongst others.
Yes.
With Ridley Scott, you've worked with him quite a few times. I mean, you must be besties already because you've worked along together. I mean,
with Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, they they become like friends. You know, like they become like buddies, and they see you every day in front of them. You make sure that their transport is there, or they make sure that you're there, and you chat a little bit, you say hello, you would discuss a few things, or at least talk a few minutes a day. Like I used to sit with Clint Eastwood almost every day. When he gets back to his hotel, he'll be looking for me. He would be asking for Ali to come have a beer while he's having his spaghetti at the counter of the hotel. So it was really cool.
Yeah, but I think it's also a matter, it's not only a question or a matter that you know and you take pride of your work and how you do it, etc, etc.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm talking to you, and we're both originally from Morocco, and it doesn't seem, hearing your accent and hearing mine, that no one would believe that we are really Moroccans.
Well, I had that incident a few times with the Americans, because they never believed that I was a Moroccan. Every time I said I'm Moroccan from Tangier, they would say, "How about your parents? Where are they from in the States?" And I would say, "No. I am a native. My parents are Berber from northern Morocco." So they wouldn't believe. And at the end of the job, they would leave kind of upset, saying, "You know what, Ali, we will never believe you. We know that your name Ali is a fake one, or it could stand for Allison, or it could."
Allison?
There was always something going on like that, but it was
oh my
really
God,
funny
can you
though.
imagine everyone starting to call you Allison now?
Yeah, it's like,
hey, Allison, Allison BAKKIOUI. That would be great. Allison
no, but
BAKKIOUI.
we had some very good moments with all these celebrities and all these big people in the film industry, and we met some very, very nice ones. Like for example, Matt Damon was the friendliest one of all. So
you have a lot here. I mean, I have Liam Neeson, Eva Green, Orlando Bloom, Daniel Craig, Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, Matt Damon,
Omar Sharif, who was
Edgar
amazing.
Ramirez, George Clooney, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, Jude Law, Saoirse Ronan, Kate Blanchett, Ewan McGregor, Emily Blunt, Bradley Cooper, Tom Cruise, and my ladies, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kim Cattrall, Kristen Davis, and Cynthia Nixon. Oh my God, I mean, working with all these people.
I was like
mind-blowing
with these people almost on a daily basis. Like, you know, we used to meet every day, and we would say hello and maybe, you know, have a little chat. But when I took the role of line producer, I was mainly concentrated because I build the budget for Morocco anyway.
Yeah.
So I would be more concentrated in the office more than being out on the field. I would only be out on the field just to check, supervise, make sure that things are going all right, budget-wise. Make sure that the production manager is doing his job. Make sure that all the departments are fine. Make sure that I would do all the liaison with the authorities mainly, even though it's the production manager's job, but I would be doing it as well. So because I have a lot of connections in the ministries and to get things done quicker.
Well, I'm not going to ask you who you liked best, because it wouldn't be fair to anyone else, and we never know who you're going to work with again. So
I would say I had preference for a lot of them. A lot of them were nice, but some were a little bit snobbish. As you know, these are big celebrities. We're not talking about ordinary people. But like I said, the friendliest was like Tom Cruise, Matt Damon, Omar Sharif, Clint Eastwood. For example, what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio, for example. He was very reserved. He's not an outgoing person. He's too concentrated on his work. He wouldn't have time to talk to anybody, not even his assistants.
Okay.
He wouldn't even have time for anybody. You know, depending on the person's character.
Yeah.
It's not always the open person to speak to. They're not there just to sit and it's really but it's really amazing when you have to deal with all these different people. It's and meet these different people every time you're working on a job. But like I said, Matt Damon, we had 3 occasions to work together. Ridley Scott, 3 occasions to work together. They get used to you, so you become
at the end
part of.
you do build a relationship, a
Yes,
friendship.
yeah, yes.
Okay. Oh, by the way, talking about Tom Cruise, I heard the other day. Well, I saw in the video. I was so surprised that he loves sweets very much, but when he works, he can't eat them. So what does he do? The people that work with him closely, he
Yes.
sends them every year. I don't remember if it's for their birthday or for Christmas. He sends them either a chocolate cake from
Yes.
a cake shop in LA, which is very famous. Seems like they have the best cake in the world. Either it's a chocolate cake or a coconut cake.
Yes.
What's her name? Oh my God. Now I forgot her name. The
I,
actress that did Interview with a Vampire. Oh, Kristen Dunst. She said that her
Kristen
family,
Dunst.
her family, they have baptized the cake as the cruise cake. And when Christmas
cake.
comes, they're all waiting for the cruise cake to arrive. So I just think it's awesome. You never know. Maybe he'll send you a cake one of these days.
You never know. You never know.
Let me know. Let me know.
I definitely will. I definitely will.
Okay. I have a question. As you may know, there are so many actors around the world and so many new filmmakers around the world that obviously they want their piece, their little piece of the cake, and it's so hard to be able. I can understand. I mean, management, administration, management, sales wise, I can understand that you have to have how you say it, un gancho, a very mediatric person, an actor,
Yes.
be able to sell the product. I understand. I mean, I've worked in sales for 30 years. But it is true that it's so difficult to get there, that they are, new indie filmmakers and actors that doesn't mean that they're new, but they have been so many years in the market and not working as much as they would like, that they're getting together and creating their own production companies in order to be able to work.
To be able to work.
They can't work.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What do I think of that? Well, I think it's a good way to get work and to get the opportunity to get a piece of the cake. For example, if they create their own companies right now and they act as producers and actors, if they don't do that, there's no way they can get work. So not all the agents of the cast that around the world can guarantee the work for their clients.
Oh no,
a lot of
absolutely
because depending on the role, depending on the agent and how hard they work to get the job for their clients. I know even the same thing here in Morocco. I mean, I know I cannot compare it to the States or Europe, but even in Morocco, I mean, we have a lot of actors who just sit there and do nothing, and like they would wait 3-4 years before they get a small role somewhere. So they usually have an additional job. They do a part-time job somewhere else.
No, just like here in Spain also.
Yeah, they have to do something else. They don't have a permanent job as actors.
Well, I mean, here in Spain, I don't know if you know, but only there has been a study done, and only an 8% of the actors and actresses in Spain, we're talking about theater, cinema, TV, 8% works and lives out of their job as an actor.
Yes.
The rest need a part-time job.
They need a part-time job. Absolutely. The same thing here. And like we said, when they create their own companies and act as producers, they have better opportunities because they finance their own project. So it's money invested, and that's the only way they can turn around their money and make the money. So.
And how about Morocco? Is that growing also? I mean, actors and filmmakers that are building their own company to be able to work.
Well, very little, not much, very
Okay.
little. But it's now just to let you know that most of the financing of the filming in Morocco comes out of the government money.
Okay.
It's subsidies from the CCM.
Mm-hmm.
or the Ministry of Culture and
Culture.
Communication.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do normally is you apply for that. If you have a project, you have a script, and it's all in place, you submit it to the CCM. And if
Okay.
they approve it, they have a committee that sits down and they decide on that project. If they agree to it and they can agree to your budget, usually the budgets run between $400,000 to $500,000 equivalent, 500,000 euros. And it's always given by the government
Mm-hmm.
uh, in four payments. It's not all at once.
Oh,
It's not
wow.
a once, yeah, yeah. So they want to see the progress of your job or your project, if it's progressing. And you always have to justify what you've been given before they give you the second part. And the same thing goes for the third and the fourth. So,
Oh,
but not, I very, very seldom that you hear somebody invested his own money to do a film project in Morocco. I only know a couple of cases, maybe or three. But even though they do the project, they would submit what they call after production subsidies. They'll say,
okay.
we made this movie, we want subsidies, we want money back from the
Okay.
government because we invested on that. So it's the way it works in Morocco.
How about for international production companies that because there is one thing I would like to say. If anyone here here online or that you guys know that someone wants to shoot something in Morocco, I can tell you guys that Bow Film Services, the services they offer is customer clearance, film permits, location scouting, film crews, equipment rental, film shooting, casting, transportation, accommodation, and locations in Ouarzazate, El Foud, El Rashidia, Rabat, Saleh, Marrakesh, Fez, Casablanca, Tangiers, Essaouira, Tetuan, Larache, Asila, and Agadir. Well, Agadir, that's where I was born.
Yeah.
You can see the views. I viewed the locations on their website, and they are just tremendous. And you might even just take a look at their website, which I will write down in the on the on the IGTV. You
Uh-huh.
will you might be able to recognize in some films. Oh, I saw this in this film.
Yes.
Now, there is an important thing, and it's your philosophy, your company's philosophy. Your company's philosophy says that you believe strongly standing behind your work, your dedication to the task, and intimate knowledge of the country makes you guys one of the few reliable, independent movie production companies in Morocco.
That's
Well, to
right.
be true, I mean, who could ask for more? What I would like to know is, if I were, if I have, I were to shoot in Morocco, an international production, right, an international film.
Yes.
What benefits are there? Tax benefits? What benefits can I have apart from obviously everything that I just said?
All right. First of all, any production that's over $1 million to invest here in Morocco are eligible for 20% cash rebate
Wow.
of the budget, of the eligible expenses, of course,
Mm-hmm.
which means foreign companies that come to Morocco to start a project and they're over $1 million, they have to open an account, which is called a foreign account in convertible dirhams, which is going to be a dollar account or a euro account, which is going to be,
Okay.
of course, opened in the name of the foreign company here in Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
Once they open that account, we apply for VAT exemption to start with, which is 20% exemption. That's
Wow.
VAT.
Okay.
And once you have the exemption, and all the expenses that go through the bank, but they have to be paid through the bank, either by check or by wire transfer, but it has to be a bank payment. All that is eligible for cash rebate from
Mm-hmm.
the government, from the CCN.
Okay.
So you submit your application for the cash rebate. They ask you to provide them with a guarantee from your bank. So you provide that guarantee. You have to deposit a 5% of the rebate money amount as a deposit in the bank, which they give you the certificate, which you have to give the CCM. And that makes you eligible for the cash rebate plan. So once you have that cash rebate plan, once you finish all the expenses, you finish all your your project, you finalize everything, you submit all the expenses to the CCM, and you have to wait. You can wait up to 6 to 12 months to get your 20% rebate back into your account, which is very, very encouraging. I mean, it was a big initiative by the government to introduce this 20% rebate, which they did about 5 years ago, but it was never implemented until 2 years ago. So I just completed a Korean movie. Look out for this one. It's really interesting. It's called Mogadishu.
Okay.
Or it might have the title Escape from Mogadishu. It's a project that I line produced with the Korean company called Filmmakers. I did the budget for it. I applied for the cash rebate for it. It was a $7.5 million budget.
Wow.
So it was really big, and it was entirely filmed in Essaouira, Morocco.
Okay.
So Essaouira was Mogadishu itself. We turned Essaouira into Mogadishu. Yes, we had a huge art department that did a great job. We did the before war, and we did the after war.
After war.
So it was really, really amazing. It was a very big challenge. We even used government buildings.
Wow.
We were also allowed to film in the military base in Kenitra.
Really?
Yes. So we had military vehicles from the Moroccan military. We had a C-130 Hercules airplane that we used for filming. It was another experience to film at the Kenitra Air Base. Really amazing.
Oh my God. That brings me so good memories. I used to study there.
Yes. In Kenitra.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I was in Thomas Will Hoyt's American School.
Yeah,
It was so cool. I'm gonna have to watch the film. I'm gonna have to watch the film.
You shouldn't miss out on this one. It's supposed the premiere is going to be in September. So they're going to kind of launch it right during the lunar calendar festivities in China, because Korea celebrates a lot of holidays like the Chinese.
Okay.
Because Korea was part of China a long time ago, but they still celebrate Chinese holidays. So they're going to wait for that occasion to launch this film and do the premiere for it. So that way, a lot of people are going to watch it. I might attend the premiere in Korea. I might go to Korea to attend it.
That would be so great.
I can't wait. I'm all excited because I've already been invited. So I hope
do you need a translator? I don't speak Korean, but still.
We'll learn Korean and you can come with me.
Great. Well, I mean, I don't want to be stepping on your wife's shoe. No way.
She won't be going anyway. So
okay, then I'll go with you.
You're welcome to go.
I will. If they give you a second invitation, sure.
You're welcome to go if you want.
No, I love it. What was I going to say? Okay, for instance, let's say what time is it? Okay, we still have about 40 minutes. What do you does Bow Film Services also, like, because you said before you start all the paperwork and everything, the production company has to open a bank account?
Yes.
Does Bow take care of that?
Yeah, I negotiate the opening of the account, and I get all the necessary documents from the foreign production company with a producer or with an accountant from the foreign company that goes with me to the bank so they could deposit their signature.
Yeah.
And they do the first wire. So they're going to request, the bank requests the commercial register of the company from Korea or from the state, wherever they're coming from, the legal representative of the company and all that. So we submit the whole file to the bank, and that we have to wait like for about 3-4 days before they approve the opening of the account. Once it's approved, then we wire the first money to come into the country. That way it makes the account official. So then it's considered an official account, and with that account we are able to apply for the VAT exemption, of course, like I said, and submit the cash rebate request as well. So
now my question is the following. Excuse me if I interrupt you. Is
no.
Once the film is finished, right? They already filmed and everyone's gone.
Yeah.
And let's say
they already got the cash rebate. What happens? Are they obliged to have the account in Morocco forever, or can they
No,
just shut it?
no. The account stays open. It stays open until they receive the cash rebate money back
Okay.
from the government. Once it
Okay.
arrives into their account, then they order that money to go back to Korea.
Okay.
It goes back to its
Yeah.
origins.
Okay.
And then they do an application to close
To
the
close the
account.
account.
And they do it. So
Okay.
it takes up to, that account stays open like for about between 6 months, like I said, to 12 months until everything is paid, until the auditor finishes all the invoicing and
Okay.
the filing of all the invoices, of the contracts, of the payments, of the checks, everything. I'm doing that right now. I'm with the accountant here in Marrakesh. We're still finalizing some bits and pieces before I take the whole file to the CCM, hopefully next Monday.
So I would love for everyone to see and understand, not only spectators, but us actors and us film directors and us screenwriters, etc., that this part of the film industry, I think, is the ugly girlfriend that no one wants to dance with. It's the hardest one.
It is.
It's the most important, because without this, you can't possibly go forward, because
Yes.
without a production company, no film, unless it's just me and you and a camera and we're doing it ourselves. Oh, hello, Nicole. Nicole Ansari Cox is online. Hi, Nicole. We will be interviewing her very soon. So as I was saying, this part of the industry is really, really important, because many people, they just don't think of what's behind, not behind the camera, what's behind the camera.
Exactly.
And it's the production company.
That's our role. So
Yeah.
we provide the whole logistical support of any film, no matter what size it is, and no matter what the script is talking about. We make sure, we guarantee that we find the proper locations for them, the accommodation, the hotels, the best deals, because we have the best rates from the hotel. We have what we call preferential rates for our clients. So that means if I want to go to the Hotel Mamunia, I will get a 40% discount if I put my film crew there, for example. If I take them to the Sadi, instead of paying 2,000 dirhams a night, which is 200 euros a night, I'll be paying only 95 euros a night per person for a single room. So you see, these are the kind of deals or conventions that we have with the hotels. Mm-hmm. So we also get good rates on transport. For example, we rent our vehicles a lot less than a normal person would rent a vehicle. So we get all these kind of deals to encourage our filmmakers to come to Morocco.
True.
On top of all we struggle to make sure that they don't spend. When I make my budget for a foreign film, I make sure that I get them the best rates. Except crew, because crew we have an established rate by the CCM. So a production manager gets paid this much, he will get paid that much. We cannot negotiate that.
Well, I mean, I think that's how it works almost everywhere. I mean, it's just like the actors have their own rates, and film directors have their own rates. I mean, if you need a camera, they have their own rates. So I can understand that. Be it Morocco, be it Spain, be it in the United States, it doesn't really matter. And that obviously is supposed to be respected.
Yes.
But yes, it is true that you can get all these goodies for productions done in Morocco, because I mean I've lived there for 20 years. I know how it works, and to be honest, it's one of the most beautiful countries I've lived in. I've lived in 3 countries, and Morocco is very beautiful. Plus, Moroccans are really the hospitality is a #1 for them. It's
and they're very film friendly.
Yes, very much, very much. There is one issue that and this is out of the top of my head, because it has nothing to do with you as a producer, but as a as a producer, yes, and as a casting director, because you are also a casting director.
Yes.
I'm finding that there are many Moroccan actors and actresses that would love to come to Europe to work.
Yes. Yes.
But the issue is that, for instance, I don't think Spain, comparing to the United States, Spain doesn't, I don't think that Spain has an artistic visa that you can request to go. I don't know. I mean,
No,
you know.
I think yes. You can go and request a visa, any type of visa to go to Spain. If you're on a mission to go as an actor, they will give you a visa, not a problem.
But a
Because
working visa?
no, it's not a working. It's just they're going to give you a visa. It's going to be considered a tourist visa, but it's going to be
Yeah.
for. But you are going on a mission.
Yeah.
It's going to be a business visa, for example. There are two
Okay.
types of visa. Either it's going to be a student visa, a business visa, or a tourist visa. So
Okay.
depending on what you're going to do, depending on your invitation from Spain, if you have a letter saying that you're going to do an acting role in a movie in Spain, you're going to be in Spain for 3, 4, 5 months, they will give you the visa for that period. I write a lot of invitations to South Africans, to
Okay.
Indians from India, because I also line produced an Indian film, which I never mentioned to you,
Oh.
which was a big hit. I did the invitation for all the crew from India.
Oh.
The crew was over 130. I did the invitation for all of them.
Wow.
And I had to do it through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Rabat and get it approved by the province of where's that? And I send that letter straight to them, and they present it to the Moroccan embassy and the
Okay.
or consulate, and then they give them the visa immediately.
Mm-hmm.
No problem, depending on the duration of the film or duration of work they're going to be here.
Yeah, but that's Morocco. I
Yeah,
don't know how it works here in Spain because, I mean, obviously I'm Spanish and I don't need a working visa.
yeah,
But there are quite a few good talents in Morocco that
yes.
it would be so much easier because I know the United States has a special visa, which I think it's called the E1 or the 01 or something like that.
Yes, they have all
Yeah,
kinds of visas.
yeah, it's a special visa for artists, and
Yes.
you can apply, and you know that can help you work in the States. Here in Spain, I don't really think there is such a
There's
visa.
got to be. There's got to be in the European community.
Yeah.
I'm sure they got some kind of special visa for that kind of thing. But usually all the Moroccan talents I've already used a lot on foreign films here.
Uh-huh.
And it's not the first time that we use Moroccan actors in foreign movies here.
Yeah, but I've heard that they they're a bit concerned that they don't get. I mean, they are very good actors. They high quality actors, but they're not having the roles that they should have.
Well, they cannot always have what they want because here in Morocco, we have a few that are really influential and really strong. So
Mm-hmm.
they kind of dominate the market. They get all the best jobs, all the best roles, and all that.
Yeah.
But the rest will have to wait, and they have to do all the kind of public relations, make sure they become friends with this guy and this guy before they get the job. So it's just the way it works here. But like we don't have strong casting agencies here in Morocco to
Okay.
do the job, and to rely on to get you the job. Because most of the projects that I'm saying are government subsidized.
Oh.
So the business is really not strong. It's not really strong on its feet. So it's still staggering a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
getting better. It's getting better, but slowly,
Okay.
very slowly, very slowly.
I would like to say hello to everyone. Hello, Vincent. Vincent Papa is an Italian actor that I interviewed. I think it was last week. Well, we had Nicole Ansari. We had La Claqueta, who is my agent. We have a lot of people that we weren't be able to say hi because I just started talking. So we're saying hello now, and soon we're going to be saying bye because
And
I
I would like to say hello to every one of them. Just say hello
yeah,
for my
just say hello
behalf.
to everyone. I'm really happy that we were able to talk and get and allow people to know a little bit more, not only about what a beautiful and marvelous country Morocco is for filming, but also allow people to understand the role of a production company.
Yes.
And
yes.
what is behind the behind the camera.
The camera.
Which many
yes.
people don't know, and it's very, very. I mean, it's just like when obviously a lot of background actors or extras are never mentioned, and a film without background actors or extras would be very, very how would you say, very empty, or you know. So they are also important. This is this is just like a production company, right? A factory that has a producing line, and we are all part of that line. And
That's right.
And if one of the parts breaks, everything stops. And this is the same thing in the film industry. Is there's a thing that I like to say is that there are no small roles, but big interpretations and big
interpretations. Exactly.
So I've seen huge Hollywood actors having just a sentence in a film, and they are huge Hollywood actors.
Yes.
So an actor is supposed to be measured by its talent.
Yes.
Not because he or she is famous or has more social media or whatever. No, talent has to always prevail.
You said it right. Talent is more important than anything. If you have the talent, you're gifted, you will give what the audience is looking for. And
that's how it should be.
Yes. Normally, yes. Yes.
We do. See, for instance, okay, we still have a few minutes. Here in Spain, there's a problem we have here is that, for instance, in the States, what they usually do is, for instance, let's say the film has about 6 actors, right? They will at least leave 2 or 3 that are not known, they're not mediatric, and they will use it as how you call it, you know, as a shooting to shoot them in the media and people
to boost them.
Boost them. There you go.
Yeah.
Here in Spain, they don't do this. They just simply don't.
You're right.
I mean, I've seen films where there were maybe about 20 actors and actresses. They were all known actors. All of them.
Yeah.
Even the smallest one that would open the door and say hi. Well, he was a known actor. So you're there thinking, why on earth?
That's very true.
Why is it that it's so difficult in us here in Spain to help boost other actors? I mean, people, when they come, I have new beginners or actors who are just there. They've been there for years, and they ask me, every time I can be of help and I can give a helping hand. Why not? I mean,
why not? Yeah.
I have so many WhatsApp groups where I belong and I belong there and with other actors, and when I see auditions that can be for others, even if they're for me, I just put it in the group so they can audition too. Because,
exactly.
I mean, there's always a role for you, and if it's yours, it's yours. No matter how many people audition for it.
That's very true. That's very true.
Okay, Ali, Allison, it was a beautiful talking to you. You're gonna keep Allison for me. Allison, we have 1 minute left. I would really love to thank you for sharing your time experience with us.
It's really a pleasure for me to be talking to you on this interview, which I've been looking forward to. I'm sorry if I was not able to connect with you that much earlier.
I know.
I was just a little bit, I told you, like, I was busy. I'm still in America trying to sort out my client's business. I need to finish all the accounting. I need to submit this cash rebate thing as soon as possible to get it all done. So I'm sorry, but finally we made it. Here we are.
Yes, here we are, and we will have many, many more of these afternoons.
Absolutely, absolutely,
I would like to thank all of you for being there, those from the beginning, those from the middle, and from the end. You are all important to me. And just let you know that our next guest for next week, for next Tuesday, is an international Italian film and theater director, Felice Cortecchia, who will be interviewed in Italian. So don't miss it.
Amazing.
Please be responsible and stay safe. Don't forget to wear your mask if you need to. And You can follow Ali's career as a producer on his website. Everything, all that information, I will write it down on